What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Steve.
I'm Lindsay.
Today we're going to be reacting to 10 reasons why Queen Elizabeth II was a badass.
Because when we did the videos to honor her on the anniversary of her death, so many people in the comments of those videos said you needed to show me like the different side of her that wasn't shown in those videos. So we're here and I don't know what to expect. But
yeah, what's the impression you have of Queen Elizabeth from the little bit you've seen, which isn't much? You actually haven't seen anything of her at all.
I mean, like a few little clips here and there in the
right, but beyond that, before that, you hadn't really ever seen anything. I think
her true personality. No, I don't really know how she would talk or act.
I think I remember you telling me that you had never actually heard her voice before until then.
And I heard it a little bit in that video, but I don't know. I guess the impression I get from what little I know about her and just her image around the world is that she was very like what you would picture royalty to be, like queen. Very regal, just quiet, reserved, like. Right. That's the image I have in my head of her.
And I think there is, I think she probably was that to a huge extent. But just like everyone, there are surprises to be found within their personalities when you look beyond the surface.
Right.
And I think that's what we're going to see today. So,
all right, well,
guys, we're going to go ahead and jump in here and check out 10 reasons why Queen Elizabeth II was a badass.
Why doesn't the Queen need a passport or driver's license? Can she really shoot a gun in real life? And does Her Majesty really drink up to 4 cocktails every day? Hi, I'm Joy, and in the name of the Queen, let's start. Number 10. I'm still alive. Queen Elizabeth II is 94 now, and there's no doubt that she's the longest reigning monarch in the world. We have a theory about what's helped her stay healthy and clear-headed all this time. It's her self-irony. A couple of years ago, when Northern Ireland's Deputy First Minister Martin McGuinness asked the Queen if she was well, Her Majesty didn't hesitate to answer.
Thank you very much. I'm still alive.
Because when you're over 90 years old, you learn to appreciate the basic things. Another example of Her Majesty showing irony about her age happened in Malta. During the Commonwealth Summit, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau delivered the toast to the Queen, honouring her more than 60 years on the throne. And Her Majesty's answer was simply amazing.
Thank you, Mr. Prime Minister of Canada, for making me feel so old.
But the truth is that the Queen is not just fine in her advanced years, she's still really active. And she does things other people her age might not still be able to do. Like, number 9, drive her car and ride a horse. At the age of 93, the Queen was spotted driving her Range Rover at the Royal Windsor Horse Show. Unfortunately, we don't have a video of her latest drive, but this photo looks very convincing.
You know, that's something I wouldn't expect a queen to do ever.
True.
Right?
Yeah. You'd have drivers, you'd have people.
Right. You do not have to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, some people just love to drive, I guess, so it makes sense for some people. Maybe she just loved to drive.
Probably gave her a sense of normalcy.
Yeah, probably, because you think about it, since she was in her 20s, she's been queen. And before that, you know, she was a princess. So, you know, that is a very abnormal life, right? So.
Or this one, when she drove with her corgis recently. Pretty cool, huh? The story about how exactly she learned to drive a car is pretty impressive, and we'll get back to it soon, so stay tuned, folks. The fun fact here is that the Queen doesn't even need a license to drive. Any ideas why? Oh, it's simple. Because all the driver's licenses in the UK are issued in the Queen's name.
Isn't that
so
insane?
It's really unnecessary for Her Majesty to have a license, or even a passport.
So if she were to give herself a license, it would be her giving herself a license in her name.
Right.
That's wild. I wonder if King Charles drives himself now, or if he does. He has someone do it for him. I'm guessing
he seems like the type to have someone drive.
Yeah, I was thinking, yeah.
Yep, the Queen doesn't have one because she herself is a living passport. An even more impressive fact about Her Majesty is that she can still ride a horse. Just a couple of months ago, the monarch was spotted on a ride at Windsor Castle. Okay,
so she died at 96, I believe, right? And this is at 93, 94?
That is amazing.
That's
Those
insane.
are some beautiful horses, too.
Yeah. But, like, people in their 50s have a hard time riding a horse sometimes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it just depends on how physically in shape you are. But, you know, as you get older, something like that becomes much harder. So the fact that she was doing that in 93, 94 is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Because what else can you do in isolation, right? Her Majesty's love of horses goes way back to her childhood. And there's only one animal that the Queen loves more. Number 8.
Sophia wants to start riding horses. So
she says she does.
yeah,
so.
we don't know if she won't want to, but she says she does, and we're going to be looking into that soon.
Her Majesty's Corgi Army.
Corgis are so cute.
Look how short the little legs are.
Yeah.
Are those hot dog dogs?
Everyone
that's
knows that the
Dachshund.
monarch
No.
adores corgis. But do you know how many dogs she's owned? 5? 10? 20? Nope, nope, and nope. How about more than 30? Yes, during her long and intense reign, the Queen has taken care of dozens of the adorable dogs. According to Vanity
Wow.
Fair, the Queen got her first ever corgi at the age of 7, and since then, she fell in love with the species. The Queen walks her army every day. She takes them
Her army.
everywhere with her, even on flights. She also organized a special royal diet for them with their personal chef. She's bought them tons of individual Christmas stockings with treats to pamper them with, and no one is allowed to forbid the dogs from doing anything. Exactly. Anything.
How spoiled do you think those dogs were?
I wonder if the kids got that same special treatment. Probably not.
I bet those dogs had the best diet on the
Probably
planet.
better than most humans.
Oh, I
honestly.
bet. I bet they were eating like filet mignon every day.
Yeah, probably.
As the author Brian Hoey, who visited the palace, wrote in his book, Not in Front of the Corgis, the dogs were not fully house-trained. So a supply of soda water and blotting paper is kept at hand just in case of any little accidents. The royal family, the royal rules for the dogs. Number 7, the first monarch to send an email. Well, that's a pretty badass achievement. The Queen sent her very first email back in 1976. Isn't that mind-blowing? Most people didn't even know the internet
1976.
existed back
Yeah,
in those
that's
days,
pretty early.
while Her Majesty operated it from an army base.
Okay. I probably didn't send my first email. Honestly, I know you did it much earlier than I did, but I probably didn't send my first email until I was like 20.
What?
Yeah, like I didn't actually own my first computer until I was 23.
Oh my god.
If this doesn't impress you, what about this next fact? Even before sending her first email, the Queen sent a message to the moon. It was a message of goodwill during the Apollo 11 landing. The astronauts Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin took a silicon disc to the moon that contained messages from various world leaders. The Telegraph recalls the 2 sentences that the monarch wrote. On behalf of the British people, I salute the skill and courage which have brought men to the moon. May this endeavor increase the knowledge and well-being of mankind.
That would be an interesting disc to listen to. I wonder who all's
else
on
on
that. That would be a very interesting thing to listen to for sure.
Will the Queen send her message to Mars in the near future? We'll see. Number 6, the photo-bombed selfie. Riding cars and horses and sending a message to the moon is indeed impressive. But do you know what can be even more badass? Being modern and ready to photobomb random selfies. During the Commonwealth Games in Glasgow, the Queen didn't hesitate to surprise 2 members of the Australian women's hockey team. Her Majesty noticed them taking a selfie, and she just got in the shot. 'Cause why not? The Queen photobombed our selfie, hockey player Jade Taylor wrote on Twitter. Personally, to me, this photo is both cool and creepy at the same time.
How tall was she?
She looks pretty short.
Yeah, she looks like she's around 5 foot or so.
Yeah, because she wears heels most of the time.
Yeah, yeah.
Because it gives you the feeling that Her Majesty is always watching you. Am I the only one here? Number 5, Her Majesty's daily alcohol intake. A couple of years ago, there was a weird accidental rumor spread by the Business Insider and Independent. Listen, it's hilarious. According to these sources, Her Majesty starts her day with a gin cocktail. During lunch, she continues with wine, and she ends the day with a dry martini and a glass of champagne.
Wow.
Which makes 4 cocktails in total every day. Despite the fact that the Queen indeed enjoys a drink, her routine was super exaggerated. This is what the former royal chef Darren McGrady tried to clarify in his later interview to CNN. She'd be pickled if she drank that much. All I said was that she likes a gin and Dubonnet. That's her favorite drink. The chef blamed the misunderstanding on his accent and a very bad phone connection. Can we trust this man? Or
So basically, it was an exaggeration in the press.
Mm-hmm. Oh, imagine that.
She likes a particular drink, and they go to she drinks four times a day. That's insane.
does Her Majesty indeed have a Churchill-style habit of drinking? You decide. Number 4, James Bond cameo.
Good evening, Mr. Bond.
Good evening, Your Majesty.
Specially for the London Olympic ceremony, Her Majesty agreed to film a hilarious sketch with Daniel Craig as James Bond, and with her corgis, of course. In this sketch, the Queen and Bond are in a helicopter flying over the London arena and jump with a parachute straight into the stadium.
What?
Add James Bond's epic theme song to this and you get the perfect badass arrival at the London arena. Of course, the Queen didn't really jump.
Oh, okay.
But
You thought she did?
feeling that she could have actually done that jump.
Yeah.
Number 4, she knows how to shoot a gun. Seriously, check out this photo. It was taken during a royal visit to Surrey's National Shooting Centre, when Her Majesty couldn't resist and fired this massive battle rifle. I know what you're thinking, it was all for show. Just take a look at this officer's face. He's smiling like he doesn't believe the Queen can actually shoot a gun. But the truth is, Her Majesty learned to handle firearms way back in her childhood.
I bet they did like a lot of skeet shooting. Mm-hmm. Hunting of some sort of bird. Pigeons? Is that what they used to hunt?
I don't know, pheasant.
Pheasants, yeah. Not pigeons.
I don't know, some people might.
I don't know. I mean, like, pigeons, aren't they only on the coast? Doves.
Dove hunting.
Yeah. From what I understand, a lot of, I don't know why I have this in my head. Maybe this is not even true, but I have in my head that, like, royalty all over the world seem to go and do bird hunting. Mm-hmm. Is that something you haven't heard too?
I think it might be the movies, but it's probably true.
It probably is the movies, but I don't know. Maybe it is true.
It's been said in the Channel 4 documentary that Winston Churchill sent King George VI his Tommy gun as a gift. Young Elizabeth was only 14 at the time, but she was so excited about the Tommy gun that she asked her father if she could practice shooting, and he totally approved. So, next time you're doubting Her Majesty's temper, think twice. I wonder if she needs permission to carry a gun.
You know, I am curious about that, guys. So, like, compared to the rest of the public, how easy would it have been for Queen Elizabeth just to carry a firearm herself? She would be the one that's giving herself the license or the permit in her name, right? So, like, I'm guessing she just could.
Number 2, alone against an intruder. Imagine the Queen sleeping peacefully in her gorgeous chamber in Buckingham Palace, when all of a sudden a strange man walks into her room. His hand was bleeding and his look was far from decent. This was the real tense situation that took place in 1982, and luckily Queen Elizabeth was bold enough to deal with it all by herself. Well, at least for 10 minutes. The Queen quickly realized that it would take some time before anyone would come to the chamber and help her, so she started to chat with the intruder in order to play for some time. They talked about multiple things, about the intruder's family life, his 4 kids, his personal problems, and stuff like that. Finally, help arrived and the man was arrested. Soon after, it became clear that he'd broken into the palace twice. The first time, he secretly drank from Prince Charles's white wine bottle and left the palace unseen.
Okay, so, like, my question is, so he's broke in there, he's in her bedroom. How did they know he was in there? Like, how did they know to come to see her?
You'd think there would have been tighter security.
Right.
than that.
Broke in twice, right? So, like, but I'm really curious, how does she have, like, a special button to press if something happened?
You would think.
Or maybe they knew he broke in and they just lost him and they were trying to find him, so they came to see her. I don't know. But you'd think if they knew he broke in, they would have got to her room before he did.
Number 1. Served in World War II. Did you know this fact? At the age of 18, the Queen, or should I rather say the then Princess, joined the Women's Auxiliary Territorial Service. Yes, young Elizabeth served as an ambulance driver and a mechanic in World War II.
Really?
And that's where she learned how to drive so well. Another interesting
Oh,
thing is that her
okay.
father, who was the king of the United Kingdom at the time, was strictly against his heir joining the armed forces. But after months of Elizabeth's begging, the king couldn't resist, because she wanted to help her people and her country even when she was a teen. This fact makes Queen Elizabeth the only female member of the royal family to have served in the armed forces.
Wow.
And the only living head of state who served in World War II.
All
It's
right.
pretty cool. It's definitely a side of her I didn't realize existed.
Right.
And I don't know if that's just because I didn't, look into the royal family much until you started this channel, or if it's just because that side of her isn't shown very often. It definitely seemed like she liked to have fun more than you would think by looking at her.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, obviously, don't judge a book by its cover, but at the same time, she was queen, so
Yeah.
you kind of have these assumptions about someone.
Yeah, you have to wonder when you become queen. Obviously, she did at a young age and was for a really long time. You have to wonder, like, how that changes the way you have to act in
For
public.
sure, yeah.
I mean, even before
It's a
she was
lot of
queen,
pressure.
even when she was princess, knowing one day she will be queen, like, you have to wonder, like how that changed the way she acted, in front of everyone
Yeah, there
versus
was a lot more expected of you.
right. I mean, it's like, I can only imagine that you're in public, you're one type of person. Obviously, your personality probably slips out from time to time, but you still have to be this like very stoic almost individual. And then when you get outside of that, you're able to let loose. I find that type of thing so interesting, just how basically a person like Queen Elizabeth would have to, for example, I think she probably in a lot of cases had to kind of almost hide certain emotions to appear a certain way, to be strong for the nation, so to speak.
Yeah.
When she might have been going through some troubled times in her own personal life or whatnot. And that is much harder than I think a lot of people, understand or give someone credit for.
It could be very lonely, I'm sure.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of what I'm getting at, that having to be that certain way in front of everybody pretty much every day would be lonely, because in some ways it's hard to when
No one really relates to
Right,
you.
yes.
You can't really, like, you're the strong one, so you...
Right.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for stopping by. Please click that like button. Feel free to drop your comments or suggestions about this video or others. And don't forget to subscribe to continue to follow us on our journey to discover anything and everything about the UK and Ireland. Until next time, guys. Peace.
Bye.